Hello and welcome everyone to part 12 of the Iceni Let's Play for Total War Rome 2. We continue during the intern phase and the plan is now to unite Britannia, or rather all of the British Isles, and take out the Caledonians, which means we'll claim Scotland, modern day Scotland at least. And what's this? Diplomacy. They want us to join war with the Helvetii, which I believe are down here somewhere. Can't see who is owner. It won't tell me the owners because they're unknown. But I believe, if I remember correctly, they're around about down here. So I can't really force any money out of them because it does it on a restricted £2,000 increase, which I think is something I'd like to see Creative Assembly personally change in future patches, being able to give you the option to edit your own kind of custom amount rather than going up in £2,000 increments, because I reckon you could probably tempt them into doing it for 500 to 1,000 gold, which would be worthwhile for you to join the war. You get some money out of it. But anyway, faction encountered the Helvetii, and let's see if I was right. Ah, yeah, pretty much. Pretty good guess. Well, I've checked out where a lot of the factions are in the game, so thought it was around about there. And we have got this to a fortified city now. After that, it's a barbarian 100, which does have squalor, but there's a lot of wealth, growth, culture, and +1 army recruitment capacity, which is awesome. Don't need to bother building up the navy. My druid, let's give them the administration. That should help a smidge. Now I have two armies. This one here, which I do need to make some changes to, is a lot of levy freemen. I have had a few of you suggest I disband the levy freemen, but swordband, the stats aren't too hugely different in between. It would probably be worth if I could easily change them all up, because their upkeep is the same. It would be worth it to change all that levy freeman into spearman, and I will probably do that, or probably disband them once this campaign to unite the whole of Britain has been completed. But I'm going to recruit some veteran riders first, because I want some good strong cavalry. I'm going to then disband the scout riders here, because I don't really need them. After that, I'll probably see if I can build some more sword band. And I wouldn't mind trying out some of the Scorpion artillery units either. Now this army over here, give me a turn or two to put down the public order in Eblana, because it's 19 plus military presence at the moment. They're only getting +13, so I need that to be +20, or at least +19, so I can take my military out of there. But that's only going to decrease because I'm currently converting this barbarian town, although actually converting that there won't be the squalor off that, so there will be +4. So I've got to give it time for the provincial instability to go down a little bit more, and then we should be right. And then I can get stuff like this brine distiller. I can upgrade that, because that brings in more public order squalor. But it does bring in a lot of extra wealth as well. So I'm leaving that army there for now. They're all fine. Don't need to recruit anyone else. That's my main army I'd like to bring to smash out those guys. So for a couple of turns, just need to chill and wait up here. This agent can be upgraded. Going to give them critical success. And oh, actually there is an enemy spy up here. I wonder if I could. Whoa! Yeah, there's no way I could bring down that. Well, solicit traitor. I've got a chance of doing that. Manipulation, persuasion, but I don't believe I've got any slots free to take any more spies. But then people have said you can still manipulate units even when that doesn't happen. I'm gonna risk it and just give it a go, see if I can do it. 67%. It may not work, but we'll see. The enemy agent has been hindered, which is alright. So I'll take that, whatever that does, if they can't move or what have you. Oh, it cannot act or move. Sweet. So it should get a turn where it doesn't do anything. Recruiting more units here. I can't really upgrade anywhere else. I'm just going to save up my funds for now. Don't need to bother upgrading the fleet anytime soon, so we're going to end the turn. Going through the end turn phase. If I ever did restart one of these Let's Plays, I would at least notice that the end turn phase goes even quicker. I know that is impacted slightly by the fact I'm recording. I've actually, for this part, chosen to go back to try and record with fraps, because I think at the moment, with Rome 2 being not amazingly optimised... Oh, we've got to stop this. Counter the rumour. Oh, we could counter it or we could do nothing. We've got enough money to counter it, so let's counter the rumours. Akko, he's come back. But what I was saying about fraps is that I'm using it for this part to test out to see whether it doesn't have such a huge FPS impact that Bandicam has. Now, Bandicam on pretty much every other game doesn't have much of an FPS impact because Bandicam is coded to basically reduce the impact it has on... Where is that spy gone? On your PC while you're playing a game as well. And there are various codecs you can try out with Bandicam to help reduce that further. And one of them I would like to use, but currently my rendering program, Sony Vegas, doesn't let me use that codec. But that is being being sorted in the next Bandicam update, which I'll probably try out. But I'm going back to fraps, and the reason for this, just for this part at least to test out, is to see whether battles are slightly smoother, because what thing Bandicam does over fraps, which is why I've moved to Bandicam previously, is because Bandicam compresses your recording as it records, so that you don't have like basically 100 gig for a 20-30 minute recording, which is what fraps does. Now fraps does that because it just records purely what's on screen. There's no compression, or if there is, it's very little indeed. So what that means is technically there should be less strain with fraps because it's not compressing on top of that. So I'm going to see if battles run a bit smoother, because I can run Rome 2 now pretty much alright. The only issue is, I'm going to try and tempt this War Maiden, the only issue is that when I do get into big battles, the FPS really does drop when I'm recording. When I'm not recording, it's fine, but otherwise there'd be no way of you guys seeing this. So, obviously I won't know until this recording, until we get into a battle, which will hopefully be in a bit if I ever shut up. Diplomacy though. Can we get these guys to join a confederation? So that's why I'm trying out this part. If the quality seems slightly different or slightly better, let me know. And if battles seem smoother once we get into it, obviously I'll be able to tell as well. But let me know your opinions once we get into one. That's all I can do there. 3 more turns. I've just got to do some quick end turns, I think. Just quickly going through. Lots of quick end turns. Have a sip of tea while I wait. And I will be doing some online battles soon, rather posting up those. I actually fought one today. I've been fighting a few today, and I've actually been doing rather well. Finally worked out some reasonable tactics with a couple of factions. Thank you to all of those that sent some in, some builds and things. So I'm trying them out, and I'm getting a bit better. It's not launch day fails anymore. So these guys are getting a chance to build up some troops and what have you. I'm not too worried about that, because that's fine. Get some sword band in there, 2 more units, and let's try them with a scorpion, and that will be a full 20 stack now. Kind of start upgrading these as well, but then we're going to get minus population, public order here, but it is at a reasonable growth. What we can do to counter that, I've got no temples really, bar this one, which does have public order bonuses, but it's mainly for food, agricultural, bread and game sort of thing. But when, hopefully, let's see, what's this? Oh, it's going to be 2 more turns, just off. 2 more turns, I can build another temple here in Moridonum, which should help things. So I could upgrade this for now. I think I will upgrade it because it is useful. And that in itself helps spur growth and things like that. So, end the turn again. I'm keeping that army there until that village is done, or at least for another turn or 2, until, you know, I can take that army out and it's not going to be an issue. I could take them out now, to be honest, but I'm just biding my time. No need to rush. I think they've been poisoned there, though. I think that's where that Caledonian spy has gone. But yes. Also, the only other thing with using fraps is that because it doesn't compress the files means my rendering time may be a lot longer. So if my rendering time is a lot longer, I probably won't use it and I'll be back to Bandicam. But you'll be able to find all this out on what I think of it and what I've decided when my Rome part goes up, which will be up after this one. So you'll find out very soon. Got much chance here. I could try and tempt them again, but I'm having a feeling that's not going to work too well. I'll try one more temptation. They've been hindered. That's it. I have a feeling, for me personally, I can't seem to tempt them when I don't have any agent slots free. So that's good that we upgraded though. It's all good training. I can incite unrest, authority, manipulation, persuade, assassination. Solicit. We're going to go for collaboration then, because that seems to be pretty useful for what I need. And now with my armies, let's sort them out. What are we positive at here? 50 and plus 16. Okay, well I'm going to move this army out into the sea. Then I'm going to -5, but that will dissipate even less, and then it should disappear next turn when that barbarian town is done. I will do force march, and I'm going to trespass this turn. I don't care that I'm trespassing, and I'm going to trespass here too. And I'm going to go into ambush mode, and I'm just going to wait and see what occurs. So one more turn, and I can build that temple. So let's end the turn there. And hopefully we can have that battle. I probably will refrain from doing large army battles, which is that option which allows 40 versus 40 units. Only because the last time I did that, I think it was in the previous part, I got a lot of stutter, which is different to game lag. It wasn't actually a slowdown. It was that the game was running at a reasonable level, but because of the sheer number of units, the actual coding and optimization was just not good enough, so the actual units kind of would stutter. You can go and watch that part 11, and that has that all in. But that same thing happened with Shogun 2 on release. I remember seeing it then, and it got patched and sorted out a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so later. So Grove Assembly can fix that. I assume it's probably exactly the same as what they did in Shogun 2. And I'm going to build this sacred enclosure for public order. There we go. And then that should help right things. Over here, Eblana, -8, because that, oh no, the Barbarian Town did give -4 public order. So that does give that. Well, that's alright though. I can live with that for now, because we're getting a decent amount of growth, commerce and what have you. That will slowly go down with the provincial instability, but that's not going to change much more with all these buildings. These farm ones. Well, this one's fine. That's fine. The fishery isn't fine. If I could take that out, that would help. And that's a lot of extra food, which I really don't need. So let's convert. Let's destroy that, and then let's sort that out next time. So I'm going to go up to this hill, and next time I'm going to fortify myself. I'm just taking my time here. Let's see, manipulation, I've got more chance of tempting them now. Assassination, more chance of poisoning and soliciting. I'm going to try another manipulation. Just it seems to be levelling up my scout quite nicely, as long as he doesn't die, and I'm hindering them each turn, which means that they're stopping them from hurting me. And I could try using my War Maiden next turn actually to try and bring them down. How old is my War Maiden? 70, Christ, you might die soon. In which case I'll have to recruit a new champion War Maiden class. Don't upgrade any of these fisheries just yet. I assume the main way of countering all this public order issue is by going through the research. But if anyone has insightful tips on reducing public order and things like that, something I may be missing, then do let me know.
Ready for orders.
Leaving my army down there in ambush position while I end the turn again, and I'm going to declare war on the Caledons next turn and attack those two armies outside, which should draw in their reinforcements from Elidon. And we'll see if one army can actually handle that rather than bringing in two. And Mokia is dead, unfortunately. Increase in rank though, which is my druid. You have increased in your rank. Manipulation, philosophy, corruption, minus 5% tax rate. Spread cultural tension. Let's go for philosophy. And centre pool on that one. Let's just have a look at my dudes here. I can secure promotion for this one. Let's go for that. Which does actually increase my support, even though it says minus 25 tribal chiefs. I still don't understand that. Did I lose some, but because he went up a rank he had more gravitas, so in the end it worked out better for him? Somebody explain it. And I can marry this one if I wanted to. At a huge cost. He is the... I can't because he is the head of the party. Will win influence with the weaker party, so that would be not a good thing for me. I could try and assassinate them, but then someone else is bound to take their place, unless I make it a Daco, because he's currently not got anything. There's a lot of money to spend on trying to assassinate someone. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I won't kill. I won't become your killer. So these guys got +5 at the moment, so I could upgrade one of these towns. That's from 200 wealth to 300. And iron. That's to 250. So it would make more sense upgrading this one. And we can just about handle the extra squalor. So, time to declare war. I was going to fortify myself up. Actually, I am going to fortify myself. Going to fortify myself here. Then I'm going to declare war the old-fashioned way.
Do not attempt to sweeten truth with honey. Speak plainly, and I will.
Thought I'd just see what the predicted joining of a confederation would be. Not very high at all. Oh, I can not recruit a new agent here, but I need to recruit a new war maiden. Okay, she's got a lot of effects. They've all got exactly the same effects. What's this one? Line of sight, evading enemy agents, chance of discovering hidden agents and armies. Military fervour, achieve public order, adventuring. Can someone explain what adventure is, that action? How do you send them on an adventure? Is that just them moving around? They get plus 10% wealth. I understand show of force because that actually comes up, but what about everything else? But I'm going to go for show of force. I'm going to go for this one, line of sight. She works quite well. And now, how old are you for a war maiden? 23. That's very good. Oh, I could have tried to tempt this one over actually. When I had that gap. Oh well. We'll just continue to hinder her. I can't even see how old she is, so she may be really old. About to die. So I need to see how old you are. Arrgh. Which has been hindered, so we're holding there. I'm hidden, I believe. Which is good. So we're going to end the turn again, and we should, I'm hoping, be attacked by the Caledons. If not, I will sally out and attack them. But I fortified myself on a hill, which I believe is good idea, really. Well, looks like someone's leveled up there. They've fortified themselves as well. To be fair, not going to lie, smart move from the AI. Because they could send their troops back to their other general. They could try and form up a little army there, all of them together. But their general would be left on his own. So one of them's fortified themselves.
Hail to the mother.
Which... fortified, they can't move. Does that mean they can't reinforce the other one? I'm going to risk it though. I'm going to go out of my fortified stance, and I'm going to attack this second army over here. And I'm going to bring them all in if I do that. Now, the only ones I really need to worry about are these guys, which have plenty of sword bands. And scorpions. So let me pull back from there, because that's not a good idea, as we have clearly seen. And I can't get back up to my hill now, which is a shame. So I'm going to fortify myself down here and see if they'll come and attack me. Meanwhile, I'm still going to try and see if I can manipulate and tempt this war maiden over, because my spy's getting a lot better at it. And we're just continuing to hinder her. I do believe firmly that that is because I have no spaces for extra agents. I'm going to get this one to hide in here though, for military training. Stop wrestling that bear and pay attention, that's awesome. And I'm going to go for disruption now as well. So I may be able to disrupt this territory. If I could disrupt the army there, weaken them, then I could attack without fear of all that reinforcements. Because these two units take them out relatively easily. So what's going on over here? They're -2 now, which is good. Got that harbour. I could go... All I can do from the port is to a fisherman's hut. So I'll upgrade to a fisherman's hut, but that's as far as I'll upgrade there. And now I can upgrade the sacred enclosure next turn when I've got some more money. Now what gives me a lot of public order, like a stupid amount? There must be one that gives you more public order than all the others. This one! Grove of Rosemyrta. +4 public order. Jolly good. So you have to... That's... You know, you have to combine... I think that's how you deal with public order. Temples need to be built, or religious buildings, cultural buildings need to be built in order to support your industrial buildings, which obviously have all that squalor. And exactly what I wanted, to a degree. They're attacking me with their reinforcements as well, which won't be so much fun. But they have sallied out to attack me. So let's fight this battle on the battlefield. This will be a good show of Fraps' recording ability during a big battle situation. And what's going to get to defend? So as long as I defend, you know, the usual corners, we should be fine. And they should, as far as I can understand, it be coming from straight in front of me, I think. They're not attacking me from the flank, they're attacking me head on. So they should be attacking from down here. So I can deploy my stuff around here. But I will listen to you guys. You have been saying, you know, deploy some around the other sides as well where they'll spill around. I will do that this time too. It's just I like having everything nice and symmetrical at the front. A little bit of total war, tactical, defensive deployment, OCD. Okay, swooping in. So let's see how the FPS handles it. I've got to admit, it's not dipping as low as Bandicam does when I zoom into all these units all clustered around each other. It is still horrifically low. I mean, we're about 14... Oh, we're up to 16, 19 FPS when I go in. The big thing is going to be when they all clash together. So, we'll see how that goes. But it's a bit smoother than Bandicam. I can only put that down to the fact that I assume it's because Bandicam has that compression with it. Which I may, as I said, go back to Bandicam because... It may be that with Fraps being all its files being uncompressed, that is just way too much extra render time to make it kind of viable to do. So I may have to stick it out with Bandicam. But Bandicam are having an update soon, which should allow me to use a different codec, which uses the NVIDIA CUDA cores, or rather the CUDA processing part of it anyway. And that should help smoothen things out a smidge as well. My ballista, interesting to kind of think where should I put the ballista. I'm thinking actually I'm going to have them behind my fort firing over rather than stuck in the fort at the back, because I have a feeling that could go very wrong. Don't know. I've got my cavalry to defend them, plus it might act as a distraction for the enemy to try and go for my ballistae. So I'm going to have them up here in group 5. My general can come back here. Right, so my spearmen obviously have one in the doorway as per usual, and I'm actually going to deploy 2 units of spearmen outside as well. Don't normally do this, I normally have my slingers out front, but I'm deciding rather than constantly having to move my slingers about, I'm going to just have them starting from, you know, slightly further behind from the outset. And now that all my units aren't grouped together, my FPS has gone up to a very happy 30. Even when zoomed right in. These guys can just form up here. These guys can go here. And then I have an extra spear unit to send to a troubled spot should they be needed. Sword band on each kind of flank, left and right. And then swords on each side. Again, should I need them. Now let's have a look at these defences. No burning balls this time, which I'm very upset about. Now, I kind of, with this, I want to just place them both at the front here, where the enemy is going to become coming slowed. Barricade up this side. And then I'd want to place stakes in front of all these for enemy cav. So I haven't placed anything on the side again. It's because I've got less defense fortifications than I usually do. I think that's because I didn't stay there long enough, or these guys don't have those bonuses. Normally, I'm going to try and spread them around a little bit more, but I think, you know, if they're going to all be peddling in on here, the Sharpstones, I want them to all be slowed around that area. And no, they all come from the left. Great. Oh dear, every time I cannot work out where they're coming from. Why are they coming from up there?
Enemy reinforcements approaching.
I'm desperately trying to work out why they've come from that side. Lionheart fail again. I'm sure many of you just face-palmed yourselves. I face-palmed myself as well. A lot. But fear not. Lionheart will now have the fun task of moving all of his troops around. Although actually, we've got that bit blockaded, so they're going to have to come piling through here anyway. So we're going to have slightly different stuff. No, I might have the spearmen out here anyway, try and pull some units around. It looks like we might have heroic riders coming out here anyway. Let's bring these swords around. If we can. The ballista are going to be under fire, and they're going to be in trouble. So I'm going to have to bring my cavalry up here. And we go for standard round because you guys have been telling me that the normal rounds aren't that great. And I'm already going to have to engage against these guys because otherwise they're going to hit my catapults. Not catapults, my ballistae. Okay, so we've managed to stop these guys just in front of the ballistae. They're going to be hit by another unit, so we're going to flank them. The rest of the units, some of them are coming around the side now. And I got slowed by my stones. Damn it. Bring down that cavalry nicely, though. Let's see if we can go into shield wall and cavalry counter tactics. So we're forming up there, and that's bringing some troops, enemy troops through. Over here, cavalry are faring alright. We managed to break those troops there. What do we got coming toward us? Sword band. Let's charge into a couple of them. Charging into the swords. And meanwhile we now have the cluster of troops coming in through the front. So it's now to just send my troops into the melee. Get these guys to frenzy as they do. Because I don't want them getting through to where my slingers are. Meanwhile my cavalry are doing a good job on the flank, so I'm going to pull the cavalry back. I need my ballistas just to start firing. And even Fraps can't help out a situation where this happens. Everybody scramble! But Fraps is running things a smidge smoother, I think. A smidge. So in terms of recording on the battlefield, perhaps would be my choice, so I may well move to that. Cavalry, you're going to need to get your butts out of there, otherwise you are going to die. Enemy general is dead, which is spiffing. These guys can flank round. Can flank round. Slingers can come back. Send my swordsman in from here, and my spearmen in as well. Cavalry have all charged in here with relative success. Ballistae, not a clue what they're doing. Assume they're firing all the routing. Ah, we're being hit by the scorpions over here. We might be, but they're not actually firing.
Our general is under attack.
How's my general under attack? Oh, enemy troops flooding through him, so he can now just kill them all. Oh, gotta move that camera around because that is not optimized. But yeah, it is running smoother in big battles, as long as the troops aren't just all in one group like that, which is going to slow down a computer anyway. As long as it's all not just like that 100% of the time, then they are going to actually do okay. We're going to charge into their backs now. My cavalry is going to charge through here and mop them up. I don't think my ballistae can reach here yet. No, they're out of range. They're bringing their scorpions forward though, which could help this whole process.
The battle is turning in our favor.
Jolly good, Silanus. My cavalry now about to charge through several ranks of infantry. I'm going to continue the battle though because I want to kill as many of these guys as possible. But the enemy has now ducked out of the lag fest that is in here. They are retreating. So let's see how far out of here we have to go before FPS kind of gets to livable levels. Right about here. Right about here. You still don't want to go in there. So my cavalry dishing up the goods, annihilating a lot of these guys. Those scorpions have gone. Their crews have run. And everyone is fleeing. So yes, my defences were pointless again. Should have had some. Just need to put like one on each side now because I can't tell where they're coming from. But I have a feeling that maybe it's because where my map orientation is doesn't necessarily mean that because my army was kind of facing enemy doesn't mean that wherever my army deploys they will be opposite them. So I just assume that they would be down here on the mini-map directly facing my encampment because that's where they attacked me from. I think it's because on the campaign map my army was sort of here and they attacked from the side and my army must have been facing this way, I think. But there's no really easy way of telling that. And it is still a lag fest in here. Probably a combination of dead bodies, but notably because my units are all celebrating in here. So let's get all of mine out there. And instantly that should free up a ton of FPS. Ballistae, what are you doing? Turn around. To be fair, I'm probably not going to charge down too many more men. Get as many as possible, as humanly possible. But a lot of them are going to get away. Send my general out here. Still quite bad down on this spot. Could be, as I said before, all the bodies. Some of these guys, there is a bug at the moment where when you kill them, they stay standing upright. Or, like this guy, he is still dying. He is rocking back and forth. But yeah, these guys have glitched and they're meant to be on the floor. They are still standing. They're frozen. That will be to all the dead bodies. These guys are fine now. Face them away from the fort. FPS soars. So, let's bring these guys back over to the shattered war bands. These guys are chasing all over the place. I made them run quite a bit. My general's just getting in on the action. Alright now, loving the FPS. 43. If only I could record constant 43 no matter what the situation. But it shows there's hope left. There's hope yet, rather. Charging into these guys and just finishing the rest of them off. Ballista shots missing. But that's where I'm going to end that battle, because I think we've got the majority of the enemy. In the battle there, we got an achievement unlocked, Gore Drenched. So we lost 224, very happy with that considering the number of people I was up against. And of the enemy deployed 4,800 odd. They lost 3,381. And so a bit of friendly fire there. But I'm happy with that. So that's their major forces down. Remaining of that huge host of all their combined forces, only 1,419. And there will be... Oh no, they're not fleeing back to Caledon, which means that I can swoop in and attack. Hidden agent exposed, which would be... Oh, yeah. Oh, this spy is back. I wonder if I can kill you now. Solicit traitor, let's try and do that. 83%. Enemy's been wounded. Hopefully they'll stay out of the picture long enough for their faction to be destroyed now. Send to pool. Construction completed. And I'm now going to march up with this army in normal stance and attack Caledon. They do have their reinforcements up here. Okay. I may continue the siege then with this army, because I can then move in and attack with this one against the army here, which is, yeah, going to remove the reinforcements for the siege, which I'll then siege after this. But that's where I'm going to wrap this part up for now. Fraps, I have to say, has been a recording success, I believe. Time will tell whether it can be rendered just as fast as my Bandicam footage, which will make it basically a yay or nay situation. You will find out though whether I'm keeping with it in my next Total War Rome 2 part, which I'll upload, which will be a Rome part. So yeah, be sure to check that out. We'll be up after this one, and you'll find out whether I'm back to using Bandicam or sticking with Fraps. So as always, hope you enjoyed. Comment, subscribe. Ciao for now.